Hi everyone, welcome. It's FPL Matt Day here, and FPL is back for the 24-25 Premier League season. The game has officially been launched, so we can start picking our teams and drafting our squads. If you're new here and this is the first time you're watching, please hit the subscribe button, give the video a like, and get any comments, questions, or thoughts in ahead of what's going to be another really exciting FPL season. So I'm going to share screen and I'm going to go through my first draft team and what I'm kind of liking so far from the players and the prices and what we have at the moment, given we've barely had any preseason football yet. So let's share screen. We've got the new graphic system that Fantasy Premier League have put out, and you can see goalkeeper number one for me right now. And remember, this is subject to change. Is Nick Pope. My team name, Matt's Masters. I've gone old school. It's a very original team name of mine. A lot of you know it as the Delhi Tubbies over the last few years, but I've now gone back to the original, Matt's Masters. And Nick Pope for Newcastle, injured for a lot of last season. But for me, at 5 million price point, Newcastle, I'm expecting to be a bit tighter at the back again this year because that's what they were so good at the season before last. And Nick Pope, bonus point magnet, save point magnet, clean sheets. I think at 5 million, he's a nice price point with Southampton in the opening game at St. James's Park. So let's go into my defence. Currently a back three. We'll try and zoom in a little bit more for all of you. And some very surprising faces on my draft selection to begin with. Martinez from Manchester United, the butcher, as they like to call him. Home to Fulham, potentially a banana skin. Man United haven't necessarily always been the best defensively over the last few years. But at 4.5 million, I think it's a good opportunity to get someone who's got a pretty potentially comfortable home game. So he's in there at this stage. And then Timber, to get into that Arsenal defence at 5.5 mil. Let's see if he gets games during this pre-season or if he slots into that midfield. He can play left side, right side of defence. He can play centre-back. There's a few rumours he can slot into that defensive midfield. So right now, he is in there. And then the big ticket item of Gvardiol at 6 mil for City. Tough start against Chelsea, but good fixtures after that. And we saw how good he is, how fixture-proof that guy is. Have to have him in after he pretty much ended my hopes last season of winning a few mini leagues. So let's go into the midfield. And this midfield, we'll just try and zoom out a bit so you can see it better. There it is. Anthony Gordon, another brilliant pick from last season, has that Southampton game, like I mentioned, like Nick Pope. 7.5 million, really, really good price point for me. Nailed on in that Newcastle team. Jota needs some Liverpool coverage with the Ipswich game. Couldn't quite get to Salah, as you can see, and he's not on my bench at all. The Ipswich game, I like Jota. If he can get that start in that front three, I think he'll come back refreshed and eager to score goals. And then some more Arsenal coverage. Home to Wolves is a good start for Arsenal at the Emirates. Erdegaard's got a great record against Wolves as well. And 8.5 million, really good pick. And then Brennan Johnson, my differential pick. Leicester away for Spurs. Leicester coming in with Cooper as their coach now. Obviously, their manager left to go to Chelsea. We're not sure how Leicester are going to look. And obviously, until we see how they go in the transfer window. But some teams with the Euros and the Copa, they might not be as prepared, some of the newly promoted teams. And we saw that last season, the big gap between the Championship and the Premier League. I know Leicester have historically been a Premier League team, but Johnson scored in the Spurs pre-season friendly last night. Surely he's going to have a stronger second season. He had some good numbers last year, and at 6.5 mil to get someone that's going to be in a front three, I think is a pretty good pick, especially with a home game in game week 2. You've also got Kulusevski as well at the same price point, who could interchange for him there as well. And then we'll go into the forward three. This is almost like Euro Fantasy, where there is a template front three. The big hitters, Ollie Watkins, great fixture run, fixture proof. We know how good he is at 9 million. Isak on the other side, Southampton at home. Again, don't like tripling up in teams early on in the season, but Isak and Gordon are just brilliant attacking players to have in any given fixture. We know Isak's going to come out with 18 plus goals. And then the one in the middle, most expensive player in the history of FPL, Erling Haaland. He will go in my team because I look at it and think, if he scores in these early fixtures, his price is going to rise. I don't want to ever be priced any more out of Haaland than what I already am at 15 million. Scored 2 and assisted in this fixture last season. So for me, he has to be in the front three for my side. But every team is different, remember. Every team is different. And this is just the first draft. That could change subject to injuries. And then the bench, very low-key. Turner, to be honest, I'm not expecting him to play for Forest, but he was cheap and I just needed a nice second keeper. I'm not really looking at rotating those keepers anytime soon. I know there's probably a good 4.5 million goalkeepers in there that I could get, and I could rotate in for Pope and have a bit of a rotation. But right now I'm comfortable with a weaker bench, especially with this new rule of having a strong 11 and maybe waiting 5 weeks to save for 5 transfers. Harwood Bellis, 4 million defender from Southampton. Faze, popular player in Euro Fantasy, only 4 million. A lot of people think he'll start for Leicester. And Harry Winks, 4.5 million midfielder, starts in that Leicester midfield. Scored a few goals in the Championship as well. So could end up being a bit of a bargain in that midfield for Leicester. So we'll zoom out. We'll see the full lineup on screen there. And this is just the initial draft. It's what I've put together for now. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to this channel if you are new. Do not miss all of the content this season. The live deadline streams are interactive every single week. Watch-alongs as well. Plenty of other guests from other channels as well that come on here. And I go on to a lot of other channels as well. So please subscribe if you want to be involved. Give the video a like. Get your comments, questions, and thoughts in as well. And also, if you are interested in Fantasy Football Hub, I'm going to be an ambassador for them this season. 50% off their membership currently. The link to get that 50% off is in the bio of this video. So go and check that out now if you're interested. Plenty of good features on there as well. So there you have it. That is my first draft team selection. I'm sure it will change plenty of times from now until the start of the season. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your teams are in the comments, and I will see you all in the next one. I'm FPL Matt Day. Bye for now.